Morning fellas, Ben back again on another one. The tech camshaft installed on the Hemi. I've been thinking of a name for the bike, and I'm definitely going to sound a lot crazy. But yep, I've just thought of naming the motorcycle Ben. I'm going to call it Ben, me and my name. The channel's name is On Two Wheels Ben, so it could also be used for both of us. Both me and the motorcycle can be named Ben. Just let me know what you guys think if I call it Ben. Well, that being said, one thing, after the camshaft install, I am only allowed to rev until 4000 RPM. And all the riding that I do has always been above 4000 RPM. Every gear shift, every shift that I do is somewhere between 4500 and 5500 RPM. I've never really shifted below that. So it's just going to be a very different experience for me. The only difference that you can feel is in the engine note. You do now know that the engine is making more power because it's become a little grunty. The engine is a little more aggressive sounding now. It wasn't earlier. My bike had become so smooth that Arun once called it, it's just like, it feels like riding a Honda. There is an issue that has cropped up, which was expected, but I didn't know that it would be this serious after the cam install. Everything is fine, all is well. I have used, if you guys can see, the gasket sealant is not visible anymore. It's because the new gasket sealant that I use is Permatex Black, and that is why it blends in with the paint of the motorcycle, the engine fins and the rocker car, and hence you don't get to see it. But that being said, works well. The rocker cover is on nice and firm. All done. I'll just crank the engine and let you guys listen to the engine note, and you should also see what is the issue that is cropped up. Yep. So I did crank it a couple of times. I went out on a ride, and all that I could do was hold the bike at 3000 RPM, and so there was not much of a difference except this. So you saw, that was the issue. The whole instrument console flickering because of excessive draw from the battery. Now if you listen to the engine note, another thing that I can see as a difference is that the idling RPM is way more stable than it used to be. Well, I believe that the difference in idling RPMs and the stability of it is attributed to the lack of the decompressor and the instrument console flickering, or the motorcycle having a bit of a hiccup to crank, is lack of power drawing more current from the batteries because of compression. The auto decompressor releases compression through the exhaust valve, and hence it's easier to crank and start, whereas this particular cam is minus the exhaust, so the auto decompressor. And so even though tech claims that the duration and the lift of the lobes have been designed in such a way that there is going to be a little bit of an overlap between the two, and so it will allow for decompression, allow for some release of pressure inside the exhaust, inside the chamber. Even though tech claims that, I could see that my starting is a little more putting a little more stress on the internals of the engine, and hence it is drawing a little more current from the battery. The alternator is of course in good nick, and hence this is working well. But yeah, the battery is strained. My battery is almost 2 years old, and so I can definitely swap to a newer battery, and a newer battery will definitely get rid of this issue, the flickering issue. And another thing that you should do is keep your battery charged. So once you have the cam installed, what will be the usual thing to do is to take the bike on a ride, nice ride, varying RPMs, almost on a weekly basis. This is all there is to it. The new camshaft makes the engine sound a lot more grunty. And I went out on a ride and I instantly felt that I was riding a slightly more powerful motorcycle. The peak part that the cam makes is at 5500 RPM. So that is where you get to feel all that 4.5 or 5 horsepower difference. Somewhere around 3000, 3005 RPM, you can only feel a difference of 1 to 2 horsepower. And that is exactly what I felt. I did feel like I was on a bike which could, at the twist of the throttle, immediately accelerate. I could feel that between the stock Himalayan and the tech Himalayan. The difference at that RPM range was about 10%, 10%. So I see, guys, when I mention 10%, not all of you are going to be able to feel it. It's because not all of you ride your motorcycles on a daily basis, and you think these upgrades are going to make this bike earth-shatteringly fast. No, it's not going to do all that. It is for people who are sensitive to these incremental changes. It's for them. So you are going to feel the difference in the camshaft only post 4500 RPM. Only when the RPMs climb above 4500 is when you're going to feel the difference, the whole of it. The full potential of the camshaft you can only feel post that. But for another 400 kilometers or 500 kilometers, I'm not supposed to push it beyond 4000 RPM. So do not expect the verdict from me now. It is a beautiful upgrade. I have felt the difference. The engine feels like it's a lot more grunty and a lot more rev friendly. It's just waiting to jump it. You can feel that. I took it till 4000 RPM and I felt that the bike was just waiting to kind of, open. Most of the new bikes are plugged. The way the factory tuning is, it's just a little too suffocated. And I know for a fact that the factory tuning is extremely lean, and when you release that, when you have enough fuel and air going in, the engine breathes better, pumps out puts out better BHP. As simple as that. So a camshaft that allows the engine to breathe like how it was supposed to breathe is definitely going to do wonders. It's because the bike will stay powerful throughout the length of the day, irrespective of where you ride, how you ride. That's most important, especially on an air-cooled bike. Even more important that you run slightly richer air fuel mixtures and not lean. That is the tech camshaft installed on the Himalayan. The locating pin and the sprocket pressed together, and T on top, and the mark that you made on the timing chain and the sprocket, that is the one that I made with a marker, all align. Everything aligns well. Now all that I need to check is if I get a T mark in the sight window. Perfect.